Appreciate your time. Hutch, you want to get started, please?
Yeah, Coach, looks like you're back at the facility. When were you able to officially rejoin the team, and what were the last several days like for you?
I was able last night about 8:20 is when, the results got back. And, I'm happy to be back and rejoining the team and have practice today and then obviously jump on a plane and get ready to go play Auburn.
Curtis?
Hey, Coach, welcome back. Wondering if you could just kind of give us your impressions on Auburn, a lot of new faces on the team this year, and maybe some things you guys have been emphasizing in preparation for them.
Yeah, they're an excellent first of all, they're really well coached. They play really hard, Curtis. They're a very good offensive rebounding team. They're really, really active on the glass. They're a great loose ball getting team. Obviously Powell and Flanagan have been two guys who've been in focal points for them offensively. We got to rebound. We got to take care of the basketball, which is kind of two themes that we'll talk about all year now that we're in conference play. We got to play hard. I know that sounds simple and easy, but when you're playing against a hard group of playing guys, we know how good they are in their own building. I know it's a different year, but there's still comfort in your own building. And, they don't lose many games at home. So, obviously tough challenge. It's, there's so much stuff going into tomorrow night's game. First time us traveling, first time playing a Power 5. I mean, there's just a lot of things that go into this game. Andrew, did I get everything you wanted to?
I just asked how the last several days were. I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, last several days sucked. I hated being away from the team.
Scotty?
That's why I didn't answer that. I was trying to keep a good face, happiness.
Hey, Coach, just heading into tomorrow, what do you feel confident that this group does well, and what might keep you up at night and why?
Everything's keeping me up at night, Scotty, just because, nobody's gone into an SEC building really other than, our coaches and Desi and Ethan, and so everything in SEC play is going to take on a life of its own. I mean, every game is close. I mentioned to someone the other day that, I remember, being a freshman at the University of San Diego, and that was in 1983. And our coach talked about conference play and how hard it was going to be and how every game is close. I mean, everybody's having these same discussions with their team to try to get everybody to understand the importance of every possession. Because really, Scotty, that's what time frame we're in right now. Every possession is going to matter. I talked to the team about, let's not have any empty minutes. We can't have a guy that's out there for 2 or 3 minutes that's either tired or needs a blow. We can't have any empty minutes whatsoever. Because we're a team that probably has very little, margin or room for error.
Eric, I'm sure you were optimistic about your tests and everything. What was your reaction when you got the news that it was official? Because this COVID testing can be kind of nuts sometimes, I imagine. And just how excited are you after missing the last game to know, hey, I'm going to be with my team. I'm going to be on the bench. I'm not going to have to sit here and watch it from home.
Yeah, I would say, obviously, really, really happy. You got a new breath of fresh air, but also a lot of frustration. I mean, I felt great. I worked out in my garage 3-4 times a day. I had nothing to do. I felt great. I went and did COVID tests that I was not asked to do. I jumped in with football just because number one, I wanted to, make sure that my wife and daughter, they're fine. And so I went tested way more than I needed to, but I also kind of, wanted to, hey, I'm fine. I feel good. And, I'm still one of the few, in our group that hasn't had it. And I do think that, wearing a mask, it has certainly helped me for sure. Because obviously if somebody deems you to be contact traced and you're pulled out, there's a good chance, and that's happened to me twice now, close contact, and I haven't gotten it, knock on wood. Doesn't mean it can't happen today, tomorrow, the next day, next month, but I certainly, feel like the stuff that we've tried to do here has certainly helped me from a personal standpoint not get COVID.
Now, how ready do you feel the team is for SEC play? I guess you don't really have any choice, but just do you feel like, hey, this team's ready to start conference play?
Bob, I have not been around them. You, Nikki, Andrew, Scotty, Curtis, Russell, Hayden, all you guys probably got the same feel I do. You guys have seen them as much as I have the last week, so I don't know. I'll find out today. At least I get to see them today. Maybe I'll have a better feel than you guys after shoot around today, because the truth of it is you guys probably saw them live earlier than I have. Anybody that saw our last game live has a better feel than I do.
Yeah, I think you probably have a better feel, but I got a couple more. I'll turn it back to Mike.
Nikki.
Yeah, Coach, you guys are, 8-0. Everyone's playing pretty well, but, as you head into the SEC portion of the schedule, are there any, call to actions you have to any specific guys that, you need a little bit more or anything like that?
I think, Nikki, really everybody has to step up. We have to coach better. We got to be ready for late game situations. We've got to add the press spray. There's a lot from a coaching standpoint we got to keep getting better at. And that's why, you want your team to improve as a season progresses. But from an individual player standpoint, they all need to step up in some type of category. For instance, Jalen Tate's got to take great care of the basketball now that we're in SEC play. Justin Smith has the ability to be a dominant rebounder on both ends, not just on the offensive end. So we need Justin, now that we're in SEC play against longer, better athletes than we've seen. We need him to do a better job or be more effective on the defensive backboards. So I think, I could go down each guy. Some of our shooters can improve their three-point shooting and be more consistent from a shooting standpoint. So we've given all of our guys little notes on, their cum stats thus far, highlighted them with detail on areas that they can improve and get better at, and areas that the team needs them to do. So, yeah, I think that really, Nikki, we need everybody to just get a little bit better than maybe what we've been through non-conference play.
Hutch.
Coach, did you say you've been contact traced before? When was the first time you got contact traced?
I don't know. That's a good question. It was when we went on a little bit of a pause, September or whatever it was.
Gotcha. And then at Abilene, in the Abilene Christian game, I don't think I saw Coach Mosier or Coach Ruda there either. If they're going to be able to travel, and also who has stepped into those roles for y'all while they've been out? Yeah.
So, Andrew, I went through all that last night on the radio show. I'm going to have to get you a link to it. So Coach Ruda had stepped into Coach Moser's been out, I think, 2 games now. He will not be going with us to Auburn. Coach Ruda was in the same situation as me because he went to lunch. He did not have it, but he's back with us. He'll go on the road. Coach Ruda will step into Coach Moser's role on the staff. And we have, Michael Musselman will move into to Ruda's spots, so to speak, and everybody's doing something different. I mean, our itinerary, different people are doing that. We have a plane seating chart, which I've never done before. We have a bus seating chart that I've never done before. We have a seating chart for how we'll sit at a team meal. All stuff that'll be new to us, starting today when we finish practice.
And then the last thing I got too is, the last time y'all had an 8-day break, y'all came out kind of a slow start against ORU. Do you have any concern about that this time? Do you think that was kind of a learning experience that y'all learned from?
Yeah, I mean, I think like, if you just kind of read around the holidays, some teams, have a little lull right before Christmas. Some have it a little bit after. Um, Hutch, I haven't been at practice, you know what I mean? And so I won't really know, I hope that we have a good practice today, and I hope that we're ready. But anytime, you're dealing with student athletes and there's an 8-day break, there's, if you come out great, everybody will say that, it didn't affect you. And if you come out slow, that they blame it on that. To me, it's, hey, we've had, 3 days off or 4 days, whatever they got off for Christmas. Then they came back, had a couple, 3 or 4 practices, whatever it's been. And now we got to go play, and there's no excuses either way. I mean, we're not the only team that had an 8-day break.
Hayden,
Hey, Coach, you probably may have a better idea of this after practice today since you haven't been around them, but we got to cover all the freshmen and all these guys like Flanagan and Moore in high school, and, of course, Moses and all the guys that you have. Do you get the sense that they're even more, maybe a little more hyped up to face guys that they played in high school and an AAU ball, especially now that the kind of that opening SEC game?
I don't really know, Hayden, because I haven't had that conversation. I mean, I could speculate, that anytime you play against somebody that you have competed against or grew up with or played AAU ball with or played against, that there can be a heightened excitement about it, so to speak. But, it would be, I haven't talked to them. I'm only speculating that when people, your competitive juices can get a little bit more heightened or whatever.
How about yourself? Just the anticipation of I know you hated missing that ball game, but the fact that you're back out there, I know it's just one game, but at the same time, I know you're chomping at the bit to be back on the floor.
Yeah, I mean, my wife told me to control my emotions to the best of my ability after, I'm ready to coach. That's all. I mean, I just want to get back with our guys.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Hayden.
Yeah, Eric, Alan Flanagan, his dad's, Wes there on the Auburn staff, but Alan's averaging almost 14 points, about 29 minutes. What's your take on him?
Yeah, I think he's really improved. I thought last year he was a really good piece. And, last year I thought he was really complimented a lot of their guys because he's kind of, at least last year was like he did a little bit of everything. He defended at a high level for him. He could score it at times. He was a transition scorer as well. He's improved a lot offensively, or maybe he's just gotten more of an opportunity than he did last year. He's gotten more opportunity. He's playing with more freedom. More freedom comes with opportunity, and roles change from year to year. He was patient last year because he had some really good games, and then there was some nights where he didn't play a lot of minutes, and that's what happens. I mean, you see growth in a player who has patience and believed in Coach Pearl and his system, and he's reaping the benefits of being, almost every night their leading scorer, second leading scorer. So, I love it when you see a player have patience and stick with his program and believe in his coaching staff and believe in his teammates. And he's off to a great start, without a doubt.
And then I think you guys are averaging 10 threes a game made, and Auburn's averaging like 9-6. You guys are 1-2 in the league. I know 3 ball's always big, but do you see that being a really big factor in this game?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, they have some players that can really get streaky and hot from 3. A guy like Cambridge, who I think is a great cutter, but he's also a guy that can really get en fuego from 3 if you let him. And Flanagan can knock down, 2 or 3 or 4 threes in a game if you don't guard him properly. And certainly Powell is a guy that can make threes, and number 1 is a great shooter that you can't give up airspace to. I think what makes Auburn challenging is a lot of those guys are really good with the ball in their hands off the bounce. So a guy like Flanagan, you can't just play him for the 3 ball because he's really good beating people off the dribble and drawing fouls. And so you've got to take away the three, but also understand you got to guard off the bounce as well, which sometimes just strictly a 3-point shooter is a little bit easier to guard than a guy that can score it in several different ways.
You talk about your wife. She was telling you to be calm, like on the bench at the game, or what?
No, she just knows that I have 40 minutes that got like put in storage, and she doesn't want me to, to try to use 80 minutes worth of energy because I missed the last game in the next 40 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, your head might explode or something. We don't want you to hurt yourself, cause a fire or something. Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate your time.